When I entered the spiritual space, I noticed something very interesting. The underlying need to earn things, to earn worth, to earn recognition, but mostly to earn the right to love ourselves unconditionally. And what stood out to me was that this behavior went in complete contradiction to everything I'd ever channeled, and also in contradiction to what spirituality seemed to preach. And if love is truly unconditional, then by definition, it can't be earned. And yet, here we all were, trying to earn it anyway. Now, I don't think most of us realize we're doing this. I think it's happening completely subconsciously. But if you start to pay attention, you'll notice it happening everywhere. This need to become this different version of ourselves so we can finally feel differently and hopefully in time love ourselves more fully. The very love that we're constantly being told we already are and that already exists within us. So today, I want to get really honest about this contradiction and explore it more fully. Because the more I've sat with it, the more I've realized that we've been taking these beautiful teachings and filtering them through an old belief. A belief that states that what we're searching for isn't already here. And because it's not here, we can't rest until it is. But I think we're ready to see that for what it truly is. A paradigm that's kept us searching for what was never missing in the first place. And I think we've outgrown it. I started my career working in fitness as a personal trainer. And people came to me because they wanted to lose weight and build muscle and get stronger and have more energy and improve their health. And on the surface, that's what they were pursuing. But the longer I worked with people, the more I realized that they didn't actually want smaller bodies or bigger muscles. What they wanted was the feeling that they believed those things would give them. They wanted to feel proud of themselves. They wanted to feel confident. And ultimately, they just wanted to feel more comfortable in their own skin. They wanted to be able to look in the mirror and see someone that they could admire, someone they could accept, and someone that they could love more easily than they did now. Eventually, I transitioned from personal training to nutrition coaching, helping people adjust their diet to support their goals. And I noticed the exact same thing happening. People weren't really searching for food plans. They were chasing a future version of themselves, someone that could feel more worthy, more secure, more lovable, and they believed that changing their bodies would allow it. From there, I transitioned from nutrition coaching to life coaching, helping people navigate difficult transitions, relationship challenges, career decisions, and deeper questions about who they were and what they wanted from life. And again, I noticed the same pattern. It didn't matter what the external goal was. Underneath it was a desire to feel differently, to feel more peace, more freedom, more trust, more love. It was as if people sensed that those feelings existed, but felt that they were always just outside of reach. And they believed that if they could just solve the right problem, achieve the right goal, find the right answer, or become the right version of themselves, that those feelings would finally be accessed. And over time, I noticed that it didn't matter what field I was working in. I was recognizing the same pattern happening over and over and over again. Whether I was working in fitness or nutrition or with relationships or career or personal growth, people weren't really searching for different circumstances. They were searching for permission to love who they were. But almost nobody believed that they could do it now. They all believed that they had to become someone first. Some thought it would happen when they changed their body. Some thought it would happen when they found the right partner. Some thought it would happen when they made the right career decision. But underneath all of that was the same assumption. I'll be happy when. I'll feel fulfilled when. I'll love myself when. And then I entered into the spiritual space and I witnessed the exact same phenomenon. Everyone was still searching for their purpose, searching for the right path, searching for the right manifestations, searching for enhanced spiritual gifts, searching for the next breakthrough. The language had changed, but the pattern hadn't. Everyone was still looking towards a future version of themselves where they would finally feel whole. And yet when I started channeling, I noticed something that completely stopped me in my tracks. It didn't matter what I was channeling, whether it was animals or loved ones or archangels or ascended masters or my higher self or my future self or my past self or interdimensional beings. It didn't matter. The message was completely consistent and remarkably the same. They would say something along the lines of, you are love. Everything you're searching for already exists within you. You just have to be willing to see it, choose it, and allow it. And I found that incredibly fascinating because it was in complete contradiction to what I'd been witnessing. And not just in the people I was working with, but in the systems that they turned to for help. Fitness, coaching, spirituality, all of them in different ways seem to reinforce the idea that something needed to change before love could be felt. The fitness industry encouraged people to change their bodies. The coaching industry encouraged people to focus on goal setting. The spiritual space encouraged people to find their purpose and manifest their desires and ascend the 3D. I was watching people believe that they had to change themselves in order to love themselves. And many of the approaches designed to help them were unintentionally reinforcing those beliefs. And in contradiction to all of that were these channeled messages of love saying that nothing is missing and that everything you're seeking is already within you. I mean, I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't ignore it. Now, I never wanted to be the type of coach that saw something and didn't mention it, or that was helping reinforce a pattern that was keeping them stuck. If I saw that there was something standing between someone and the thing that they truly wanted, I wanted to shine a light on it, not to judge it or to shame it, but to help them understand it so that they could move through it. Because from my perspective, if someone continued to believe that love and acceptance only exists somewhere in the future, then they'll be trapped in an endless cycle of seeking, always chasing, always trying to improve, always looking to become, but never fully arriving. So naturally, I started pointing the pattern out. I started showing people that maybe the thing they were looking for wasn't waiting for them at the end of the journey. Maybe it was available now. Maybe they didn't need to withhold love until they lost the weight or found the relationship or built the career. And maybe it didn't need to be earned at all. And that's when I ran into something very interesting and something I was not expecting. Resistance. A lot of it. People really resisted it. It's not that they were saying, I'd rather not love myself, but thanks. It's just that when we actually began to explore the possibility that there was more love available for them and getting curious about all of the ways that they were withholding it, something tightened. There was discomfort there. There was a desire to move away from the realization of how much love could be felt and completely opening to it. And a desire to return back to fixing something, or changing something, or chasing something, or becoming someone different. And it's not that they didn't want to love themselves now. It's just that they didn't believe that they could or they should. They had been so conditioned to withhold love and acceptance that the prospect of offering it freely now felt so foreign that it felt wrong. It felt undoable. And it's not that I was telling them to stop aspiring. I wasn't telling them to give up on their goals and let their dreams of a different future die. I was simply showing them that love doesn't need to be withheld until. But every single time I tried to show them the way through and invite them into an experience with me, they resisted. There was just a level of discomfort there that was just too big to face. And it's almost as if this discomfort was the very thing creating their pattern. You see, if there was discomfort with self-acceptance now, then the self-acceptance had to be postponed. And if self-acceptance was postponed, then they had to go looking for the reason why it wasn't already here. And for some of them, it was their body, and for others, it was their income or their relationships or their career path. But regardless of what it was, they believed that they had to go fixing this cause so that the end result of self-acceptance could be welcomed. So it just took them like this, in giant circles of seeking and fixing and seeking again, and never arriving. And this is when I began to realize that this problem goes much deeper than not knowing how to love ourselves. It's almost as if we've been conditioned from a very early age that it's wrong to. That loving ourselves as we are is complacent. That self-acceptance means settling. That approval should only come after proving ourselves worthy of it. And it's not that this was taught to us intentionally. Our parents and guardians didn't want to create those beliefs inside of us. It's just that that's what was modeled to us. They inherited it from those who reared them, and then it became deeply ingrained inside of them, just like it did inside of us. And then we learned through observation, through school, through culture, through praise tied to performance, through observing the adults in our life withhold it from themselves, the very love that they wanted us to feel. And eventually we internalize the message. I will love myself when. I will accept myself when. I will feel worthy when. And the belief that we need to find and fix so that we can love became ingrained. And anything that teaches us that we can love ourselves now becomes a threat to that belief system and creates much too much pain to face head on. Because to begin to let go of the idea that we have to earn our own love means that we have to be willing to allow it. And to allow it means that we have to be willing to face the parts of us that can't, that aren't ready to. The parts that have learned to hate and to shame and to judge and to reject. And those parts require time and space to feel the reasons not to. And to do that, what's required of us is to face who we believe that we are. And the more that that belief is in contradiction to the love that you desire to feel, the more painful it's going to be to face it. And ultimately, what we're doing is learning how to. Learning how to be with the version of ourselves that we believe in. And accepting that belief for what it is. Learned. We learned to believe in it, so we do. And this is why the real work of learning how to love you is about becoming aware of all of the reasons why you believe that you can't. Because once these reasons become visible, something changes. You start to see them as beliefs, not truths. Stories that you've inherited and repeated so many times that they started to feel real. And in order to believe in something new, we have to come to terms with how to, which is choosing something different. And choosing something different requires us to question the truth of what we've learned to believe. It requires pulling up belief after belief about who we think we are and questioning them one at a time, getting truly honest with the validity of each, and coming to terms with the pain that those beliefs have caused us, and in time, releasing them with love, because love allows more love. You can't get rid of a belief system by rejecting it and sending it away when it was created through rejection itself. When we try to get rid of a belief system through rejection that stems from rejection, then we're just creating more of the same. You have to feel differently to choose differently, and that means with love. So, the way to release the belief systems that tell you that you can't love you as you are is by taking the time to identify each and every single one of them, questioning the validity of them, and learning to feel love for the parts of you where you're only used to feeling hate. And slowly over time, you realize that love was always here. It was just being held at arm's length, because that's what you were taught to believe that you had to do. And this is the choice. The choice of choosing which belief systems to hold on to and which to release. The choice of choosing to believe in the loving messages that Spirit keeps trying to tell you, or choosing to hear them and feel differently. The choice is yours. And ultimately, you don't have to choose to love you. But where will you be if you choose not to? And who will you be if you do? The thing that I do most is help people recognize that the thing that they've been chasing was never actually about the thing. The money was never the thing. The better body was never the thing. The purpose was never the thing. The relationship was never the thing. What they're actually chasing is how they believe they'll feel about themselves once they have it. And because we've been taught that those feelings need to be earned, we spend our entire lives chasing what we believe will finally grant them to us. But what I've found is that this process creates a painful contradiction. We're always trying to access love for ourselves through a process that begins by withholding it. We're trying to access a version of ourselves that we can finally accept by rejecting who we are now. And because of that, we're always chasing someone that's going to always remain out of reach. Not because it's unavailable, but because we're looking for it in the wrong place. What I help people see is that there's another way. A way that doesn't require that you abandon your dreams or give up on your goals or ideas of a different future, but a way that doesn't require that you withhold love from yourself until you get there. A way that doesn't treat self-acceptance as a reward, so that you can begin to give yourself the very thing you're hoping life is going to give you. Because when you do that, something changes. You stop chasing love through achievement, and you start creating from love instead. And when you create from love, you create more love, in the form of the life that it offers you and the experiences that become available for you when you do. If you're ready to start challenging the beliefs that taught you that self-worth, self-acceptance, and love need to be earned. And if you're ready to stop chasing a version of you that you're wanting to become and explore what it could look and feel like to allow that version of you to be here now, I'd love to help. Send me a message through my website, amandalaurenblau.com, and let's explore what it could look like to work together.